For this NCAA Football 14 tips breakdown, we're going to take a look at a play out of the shotgun double flex that we like to attack man coverage. And the name of the play is called mesh. And as you look at your screen, what you're going to wind up noticing here is to the inside, you got the slot receivers both running shallow crossing routes. So with the mesh concept, the idea for these two receivers is to go ahead and rub each other. Now, what you can do with this one, if it's man coverage, a lot of times they'll come in this area here. So here comes the left slot, and then here comes the right slot as they come across. And right here, a lot of times you're going to wind up getting this where they get some rub action on the defenders that are covering them. In this case, we got this defensive back right here. He'll be coming across, and then you'll also have this guy right here coming across. Now, what you're hoping for is one of these receivers will actually get some type of separation as they come across, and then you can wind up throwing that ball. Now, I can't tell you that's always going to happen, so you need to have another option to throw to. And for me, what I've been doing is I actually been hot routing this receiver over here, which happens to be the flanker as you're looking at your screen. And if you look at it, initially he's running about a 12-yard in route. What I like to do is I like to go ahead and hot route him on his slant. And that way it gives me a third option that I feel comfortable throwing the ball to. And the other thing that I like to do with him is I like to go ahead and put him in motion. So I'm going to go ahead and snap the ball when he gets in that area there. And this is going to allow him to get off the line of scrimmage without being jammed. So let's go ahead and do that. Before we do that, let's take a look at the defense. We're going to run this against two-man under, as you can see. This is out of the $326 defense, and you can see right there that it winds up being a bump and run man coverage on the outside as far as the two corners. So let's go ahead and put this receiver in motion and take a look at it. As he breaks to the inside, a lot of times you're going to wind up getting that separation there where you can wind up making that throw and completing it for a nice pickup. Now, if you were to look at this in instant replay, you're actually going to see that there was a little bit more separation than normal, and I want to go ahead and show that to you because you're not always going to wind up seeing this. So here it comes the motion right there as you see that receiver, and then you're going to wind up seeing this right here. Now, kind of a little bit of rub happened right there, some rub action right there. If you look, let's go ahead and zoom in just a little bit here and just take a look at that. You can kind of see right here where these guys actually run into each other. This is not always going to happen with this particular play. You're not going to get that where you get that type of thing right there. So don't always count on it, and that's why that receiver is so wide open. However, what you will see is him getting open at least over the middle where you can make that throw. Now, if we go back and we look at the mesh concept that's ran by these two receivers underneath, you can see that they don't get the rub action that we were hoping for. And really, the only one that's really open, we could try to force that ball and throw it into this area here towards this receiver here, and hopefully he can make the catch, but chances are he probably won't. So by having the flanker going ahead and running that slant route, that gives us that other option. Let's go ahead and run it one more time so I can kind of show you how this is really going to look once you go ahead and do this. So we're going to go ahead and put him in motion again, and you can kind of see it, the same thing, and we're going to go ahead and get it. That's more like what you're going to expect as far as a separation when you run this play. So this is going to give you a nice play to go ahead and run that you can go ahead to attack bump and run man coverage, and it's also a nice play to run against zone coverage as well. So by just hot routing that flanker and using a little bit of motion, you're going to allow him to get off the line of scrimmage, and then what's going to wind up happening is he should give you that third option just in case those two underneath receivers aren't open.